At home for recording, what do you use? I use.
The logic is,
But what about effects and effects? Do you use plugins? Are you connecting the pedal board? What do you do?
I have the Wax FX3 weakness. And also when I want to do something more specific for promotion, it's the pedal board right away. Directly into the interface. The interface is a Zoom L12, which is already like a small sound mixer. I have I-grade preamps and everything works well.
So yours, your sound mixer is blue. It's blue L2. If you connect weak or not, if you connect weak, do you connect weak? Or how is the weak connected?
Connected to the XLR of the Zoom, I understand connecting to the XLR of the Zoom. I have already done tests comparing directly from it to the FRACTAL as an audio interface. It's connected via USB because the Axe FX3 is quite complicated to handle manually. Yeah, it's a lot, Mateus. There's a lot going on there, man. And it's FRACTAL. It's
tricky there, folks. There was a discussion I was watching where a guy was saying that it's ignorant to say that the FRACTAL is difficult to use.
Man, if he can handle it, then this guy... No, there are some guys...
No, just like this. Look, just a little bit more, okay? Please, pay attention.
I'll speak for myself. For me to handle it, turning the knob to program a preset. I can even do it, but it won't be that simple. There are too many menus, too many little things inside. For me, it's more practical. Plugged into the S on the USB and has its software. There. The editor, then I work with it, then it's easy, but it's not that simple either.
I went to No's house, went to Studio 4. He showed me the weak point, I saw it from the inside. If you are a guy who will take the first preset and won't make many modifications, trusting what's there, it's a simple path. But if you really want to master all the tools, you're going to have to spend some time, right?
You have to dedicate some time. That's what I did. When I received the Axe FX3, which was a partnership with Pigtas, I received it. And the guy said, man, try it out, test it, and then let me know. And I said, man, I'm going to take some time because it's really a lot. Then he immediately said, Zay, this has no end. I already realized that this really has no end. Mateus, it's a lot. If I tell you, we need to do another podcast here just to talk about that. So my goal, I immediately try to be more practical, to speed things up. So let me quickly understand how it works. Because, you see, when it comes to researching timbre, there's no end. It really has no end in every sense of the word. It's something infinite there. Just the options to go there, there are more than 1,000 or so, just from one bank. There's Factory 1, Factory 2, like Factory 1, Factory 2. Then there's the legacy, which are the ones from the older times. It's a lot, man. A lot of stuff. Anyway, so my thing was to understand how it worked, the structure, and so on. Oh, all right. That's how it is. Oh, great. All right, I'll stay. Let's make the partnership. So, all right, when you can, create content for us. Keep it there in your studio. When you make a video, let it appear. All right. That's our partnership. And now, regarding the number of options. You'll understand why I say that to directly adjust the display by turning the knob there on the device itself, why it's complicated. I'll give you the example of the amplifier block. In the amplifier block, you'll have the main panel of the amp there. I'll give the example here. Of the orange 50, rocker verb 50. There's the little panel with the same potentiometers that work at the same frequencies. The cool thing about the FRACTAL is that it operates at the same frequency as the real amplifier. FRACTAL doesn't work with tone simulation, it works with component simulation. It's like a digital circuit.
It's as if a dumbbell arrived here, right? That's when you get there. You access a panel like this one, and when you tweak these knobs, you'll have the same sensation as the real thing.
It will react the same way.
The same way, right?
Exactly. Another thing it reacts to is that its input also has impedance adjustment. If this amplifier's input impedance is so many ohms, when you select it, the input of the FRACTAL also changes. And this change is not, at this point, it doesn't change as a simulation. They are actual components. It has all the components for every amplifier impedance. Then it changes and it becomes intelligent.
For example, this panel here, this is what almost all amplifiers basically have. It's volume. And this, and the gain, bass, mid, treble, volume. Basically, all of them have at least this.
Exactly.
And then, as you said, you think, it's more complex.
No, this part is easy. This part is easy. If you're only going to adjust this, then it's like any other pedal board. There's no mystery. All good. So let's go back to the example of the rocker verb 50. It doesn't have the presence control. I don't know if this one here has it.
Down here.
All right, okay. It has it. The rocker verb doesn't. There are amplifiers that don't have the mid, only the bass and treble, and so on. Each amplifier you select, it will show the original panel of how it is and how it reacts.
Showing up on the display there, right?
Exactly. It appears exactly as it is. Not the graphic, the color, but the skin. They appear there. All right, up to this point, everything's fine. Then there's another page, which is called Ideal. Ideal, I don't know. It's what the creator of the FRACTAL considers to be the ideal components for the amplifiers. That's where the fun begins.
He's already trying to help you there.
Like, hey, what we think is ideal for those who aren't obsessed and don't want to delve deeper, use this here. If you're not addicted to tinkering, if you're not curious, stay on the main panel. All right, but he gives you the options. And you'll see where this will lead. Then you have the next page for you who are more curious. When you get there, you'll have presence, you'll have that deep, which is a sub-bass that gives it a fuller body, which sometimes isn't in the original AMP. No, it doesn't have it. Okay, it won't have it this year. It just doesn't have it, right? It doesn't have it anymore. There will be a low cut. There will be a little fat button to thicken it up. It will add a bit more bass at the input before the distortion. What else will it have, my God? Then you go to Bia. There are already many options. Then there's another page. Then you go deeper into the rabbit hole. Another page of what? Of options. Then you go to the preamp. There, in that preamp, you can already tweak the tubes. I heard about that. You click there and it shows up. God forbid. All kinds of tubes. You switch from one tube to another. Honestly, I don't notice these differences. But once you've played with one for a while and then you put in another and you start playing, then you begin to notice a slight difference. They have differences. They react. There are all kinds of tubes. Then after, you go further to another section. Then there's the power. The power has the amount like it's still in the preamp. You have the amount of energy that will apply voltage to the tubes, the bias configuration of these tubes. We're only talking about the amplifier block. After you get past this preamp part, you also have the power page. In the power section, you'll also adjust the transformer. Whether the current powering this amplifier is alternating or direct. Whether the frequency of this current is 50 or 60 hertz. Do you understand?
You start to feel stupid, right? You think, man, I'm stupid, aren't I? Because there is.
There are things there that I don't even know what they are. It's because I'm curious. So I go after it. Then I still go after it. Then I still go there just to get an idea. Matthew, it doesn't have a manual. It's like an online Wikipedia. Where I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. It's weak. Wiki is the little name. So, it's on the internet for anyone who wants to cut everything there. That's where you research. All right. It's not over yet. It's not over. We're on power. Okay. After power, then comes the speaker part. In the speaker part, you will have a little button there that you will already synchronize with the speaker's impedance and its waveform in relation to that amplifier. I already leave this connected because if I switch from an orange to a Mesa Boogie, it already adjusts the frequency graph for the speaker. You understand? So, there's that too. There are frequencies you adjust there as well, which will influence the final output. And it's not over yet. Then there's another page, which also has the definition. You increase the definition more. On the Kemper, there's a little button. There, a potentiometer. When it's at 0 in the middle, it's as it was captured. But you increase it. The more you increase, the more definition you get. If you decrease it, it gets that more wrinkled sound. There, it also has it. But there, in addition, you still have bass, mid, and treble that you can adjust. Man, then I ask you, if in the software, On the computer, where you're there with the mouse adjusting, there's already so much now. You tell me if it's practical for you to be adjusting on that little screen, turning the knob, flipping pages with all these options. That's because we're only talking about the amplifier block.
But I think it's like this. If you want to go into the black hole, it's for you to solve on the computer, right?
Yes.
And it's for you, like, just on the surface, right?
Exactly. To work with it. By hand right there, I recommend staying on the surface, you know? So for you to program from scratch. I mean, if someone gets a product from FRACTAL, like the FM3, Fimoy, FRACTAL, FX, and doesn't have a computer, you'll have to manage using the small screen, and the person will struggle.
Prepare to spend many years.
I speak. For myself, I would struggle because there are so many options to see everything on that small screen. So it's really much more practical to do it on the computer. Now, a detail, I was talking about amplifiers. Mateus, all these layers of options. They exist for all other effects, for modulation, for distortion, for delay, for reverb. They exist for everything. For the wah, you will adjust the frequency of the thing. Whether it will have a bit more mix of the original signal that's passing through. If tomorrow you can set up the effect however you want. Man, if you see the options that are available in there. And another thing, the issue of the signal path can be however you want. Oh, because that pedal board, it goes from here. It's already in parallel. You can put an amplifier on one side and another amplifier on the other. My friend, there you can open it up right away. It's 4 or 5 or even up to the as high as you want. It's like this. It's a blank page. You set up the effects however you want, where you have total freedom. So like, what did I want to learn from it? To understand how the structure worked, the way the thing, how the business gets it going. The research part, I would do that later. Got it? Now, if I want, just to give you a crazy example here, if I want a delay ping pong that on one side has a phaser mixed with chorus, one after the other in series, and on the other side, when it hits ping pong, already on the other side. Here, I want it to have a little bit of overdrive, like from a Ds and Wakne phaser. Combined with a little reverb mixed in, it will still play, reverberating only on this side. Here it will play inside, it does. You put a ping pong delay there, it's stereo output, you open another one, you can branch the signal to combine everything up front. It's really crazy, man.
And it sounds amazing, right, dude?
And it reacts. That's what's cool. So this is more for the guy, researcher. There are many people who have these products, know that there are all these options, but he really doesn't want to get into, let's say here, for lack of a better word, doesn't want to get into this black hole. Because, dude, it's a one-way street. I have a cousin who had an Axe FX3. He sold it because he said, oh, Ozielzinho, man, I sold mine. Not because I didn't like it, I loved it. But man, I spent more time tweaking it than playing. And just like him and me too. We are very curious. As long as we know there's something to tweak, we're there tweaking. And so it's an excellent product, and the big thing is this. Even for you who will use it superficially, you will have an excellent piece of equipment that will respond greatly. With the picking, it doesn't do that tone copying like the Kemper does. It doesn't have that capture, it has a tone match. So how does it work? You choose there, let's say, I'll give an example here. A Marshall J100 800. Okay, there's the 800. Then you have your cabinet, your 4-12 Marshall lead 1960 and so on. With the Celestion such and such, T75. It's the T75, right? From Marshall, all right? Then you say, no, but I want it with my microphone. You have a microphone here that a friend of yours, the luthier, made for you, a ribbon microphone and such. I want it with my microphone. I don't want these IRs here. You plug it in, set up the whole scheme, make the connections, and it will generate a capture of that cabinet there, okay? Then it will become an impulse response inside it of your cabinet. It does this tone match. Another thing, you can have a recording, right? You can take a recording of something already played, for example, the introduction there of Sweet Child O' Mine, where Slash is playing the solo alone, it's just him, right? No one else is playing along. You can take that and do a tone match. You choose a distortion there, put your cabinet, it can be your cabinet, or even a more similar IR. Then when you put the tone match on top, play it together, it will make that combination of frequencies and add the difference. And the sound will become similar. Well, identical. And why does it sound good? Because the JCM 800 gives from FRACTAL is a very exact reproduction of the real amplifier.